This is Arc Analysis.
This is Arc Analysis.
This is Arc Analysis.
This is Arc Analysis. This is Arc Analysis. This is Arc Analysis Part 2.
Okay, Zombie Tramp, Volume 2. We did Volume 1. We're back for another bite. Published by Super Real Graphics in 2012. Written and drawn by Dan Mendoza. Same as the first volume.
Correct. Maybe the fastest issues of comics you'll ever read in your life.
They were really quick. So this is
Not a lot
8
of
issues.
story, yeah.
Yes, this is 8 issues. It's more like 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5 to 3. In terms of like what happens, the density of it.
Story, yeah. It's really all building to like when she starts eating people. And
Yep. Zula. Janie Bell and Morning.
There you go.
Those are the main people we're following here. A little girl or dwarf or something finds Janie in her house and brings her along to help her kill her parents, while agreeing to give her a more lifelike look if she comes along. Along the way, they hit some bumps with a group of perverts, but they make it in the end. They get to the house that she wants her to go. Like, who doesn't think? Did you think this was legit from the beginning? Like little monster girls, like, oh, why don't you come follow me to kill my parents?
I didn't think that's legit, but because it's Zombie Tramp and she's kind of like game for anything, that's the only way it's gonna work. Because what else she got to do? So
yeah,
I can suspend my disbelief behind that.
No, but I mean, like, did you believe her?
I knew she was gonna be like the ultimate villain by the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
I didn't know when it was gonna pop up, and then how to pop up. And then why to pop up? Like she has a lot more exposition not exposition. She has a lot more story that we're not given. And then even in even in the final act, it's just like, oh, I read this book, so I knew what I needed to do. And I was like, that's unearned, but
yeah.
It's a rush job, right? Because she could have been a great villain to go against Zombie Girl in the long run, but.
I mean, it comes back to the idea that Janie is like a zombie with a soul, right?
Yeah, she can still tap into the human side of herself.
Right. So but somehow Morning knows that. I'm not sure how she knew that.
I don't know. Maybe all the ghouls talk in the afterlife.
Yeah, I guess so. Word spreads. So she knew that, and the whole crux of this is she's trying to get, in the end, full spoilers, she's trying to get her soul into her father's soul. So Janie's not killing anybody. She's just coming to this house where she can get trapped in like this ritual circle type thing so that she can transfer her soul over to her dead dad, who will come back to life.
So essentially 6 issues of this 8-issue arc are pointless because you want to talk about the final 2 issues.
Yeah. Because the whole middle section is they, on the train ride to where they need to go, they run into this group of frat boys, who are just absolute
jocks and cheerleaders, just the worst human beings, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They are like comically,
pervy. What's the word?
Rapey,
macho, rapey.
Rapey.
What's misogynistic? There you go. Idiots, short-sighted, and really not friends because they can't wait to like just give up each other. And leave each other in the lurch.
And like even the 3 girls who are with them like defend their behavior, and I was like,
why?
This is really, really nice.
And too attached.
The coach.
Does
the coach have to be a pedophile? I don't like.
I think because they want Zombie Girl to be the protagonist, that everybody that she ends up mutilating has to be some sort of monster.
Yeah.
So I get that, but these guys are like. You could have done it with non-teenagers.
Yeah.
They're easier adult monsters. But I was telling you, the middle of this book is probably like a decent horror movie. If you got trapped on a train with a zombie tramp and systematically she was just taking your party apart and turning them into her undead army of the night.
What I found kind of funny is that like the guys at the beginning, not the frat boys on the train, but the guys at the beginning, when they first see Janie, they're like, "Oh, she's hot," but like, she has like flesh hanging off her face. And I'm like,
that's the one little rule that they've given her. Like, no one can see Janie for who she truly is unless they look her directly in the eyes.
Yeah.
If not, then she can appear as the old version of herself, which is just a vamped up stripper body. And again, she's still not modest about anything. Like that's
No,
one of my takeaways. Like
and she's not likable.
I guess you can wear a nice dress and still like be form fitting, but she'll show up in just like a halter top and like pasties or like a
Yeah,
thong and like a skirt, and it's like, look at this slut.
yeah.
Like,
That's exactly.
it's like,
Oh
look at
my
me in my
god, there's so
eyes.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, she's undead. So maybe that's part of the trap. But even still, knowing that you have to kind of shuffle this child across country on a train, you would want to be a little more inconspicuous, I would think.
you'd think so, but I guess she doesn't give a shit. I don't know. Like
For purposes of comics, I guess it's funnier, not
it's
for
also
everybody.
like one of those other stories where it's like another one of the stories where it's like a woman clearly written by a man.
Yeah.
Versus,
But the one thing that is missing from this run is kissing. There should have been way more kissing.
there is a kid. So the most interesting character in this book is the guy who picks them up off the road, who's like
Oh,
sad and depressed. They
that
don't give
was
him a
that was a
name.
that was a good story
I was like, this is interesting.
with the
And
whole
then
repetition stuff, just like the same day
yeah,
over and over and over and over.
and then I
Yeah, that was
kept
good.
doing it, and he just added a bit more dialogue. I thought that was the
Yeah,
best part of the whole thing because
no, no.
he picks up Janie and Morning when they're walking along the road after the whole stuff on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
It's
he's
just
just
looking for
talking about
something
how
different about his day. Yeah,
yep. So he picks these two up, and he just wants somebody to talk to. He just wants a bit of interaction because he
right.
has no friends, no family,
Nope.
no real life outside of a job that he hates. So he just wants some interaction, and they're just like they won't even entertain him.
Engage. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
look at nothing.
and so he bitches at them at the end when they get out of the car. He's like, "This is where you need to go, right?" So like, yeah. He's like, "Well, I was hoping for something," and I rolled my eyes. I was like, "Oh, here we go." And he's like, "No, I don't." He's like, "I don't. Not even any pervy thing. I just wanted somebody to like talk
Talk
to
to.
me."
Yeah,
I was like,
connect.
oh, that's cool. And then she turns him into a zombie. So
Which is amazing spinoff. Like if he
yeah,
turns into like this Uber driver, is like,
yeah,
talk to me.
yeah.
It would be cool. Uh,
But because she just bit his lip a little bit, right? So I was
yeah,
like, is that going to mean he's going to keep his soul, like, or is he just like, how does that work?
I don't understand the rules of this
Oh,
book,
neither do I. Okay.
but there's always little sparks of genius when you read it. Because again, it's not a heavy read, but there's certain things I was like, I never thought you guys would have put this in here, and the fact that this guy lived this mundane life after this crazy kind of train scenario, because they go cart by cart, just
Mm-hmm.
tearing students limb by limb till they get off on their stop. But this little like insert essentially of just like this guy that lives the same day in day out and picks up basically the two worst things of his life. You think it's gonna go one way, and then it flips and it doesn't, right? And she kind of sees the humanity in him, and he sees kind of a spark in her, and I don't know what's gonna come forward here, but that's one of the characters that I wouldn't mind kind of circling back if we keep on this run.
I agree. Yeah, I liked him. Zula's back in this too.
Kind of.
She's in the very beginning and the very end
She's a
randomly.
she's a spirit. She's drawn differently, which irks, but I guess that's like her Casper form.
Yes. Yeah. And then she takes the body of Halle Berry, who is
Which,
clearly a Halle Berry
correct. Rip.
spinoff,
Yeah.
even with the short hair and everything. And now she has a body, and then she just kind of shows up in the very end just to save the day. And it's kind of like, okay, so what was this story about? What
About
was this?
this little girl trying to manipulate this zombie tramp angel. And I say angel because she has something special about her into her dark side world.
Right. And
We don't
then
realize that
bring Zula
until
back.
like yeah, we don't realize that until the eighth issue, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because you could have bookended this book of like, we trust this girl. No, we don't trust this girl. She's got some ulterior motives, and then see how that kind of pans out on the train until you get off of it. But it's really like, hey, I'm a little girl. I need your help. And she's like, all right. So like Zombie Tramp's bored, like Jaina's born too, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Jane,
She had
yeah.
nothing. Janie, sorry, she had nothing
She's
better to do.
just no personality. Like I don't know. At least Zula has something where she's like she cares for Janie in the sense that she feels like
Yes,
responsible for her. So
yes.
there's something there. Janie doesn't really have any motivation besides just like I want to be pretty, and you can make me feel pretty. So
That and revenge, because she has a flashback on the train about like why she
that's
doesn't
right.
like
Yes,
jocks, and when she was in high school, like basically a jock was just like molesting her and fucking treating her like
I
trash,
drugged her. Yeah, yeah.
and probably rapey. And that's the weird thing about this book. Like, had they decided to go really dark with it, I feel like you could have explored some real adult issues and kind of found a way to not bring levity, but at least address it, because Janie could have been a product of her environment, right? Like the world betrayed her, and now she's going to take revenge on that. That's way more interesting than just like the product that we get now, which is
Yep.
more her going along the motions until she gets a flashback of like, okay, this is why I don't like
Yeah,
Joss.
and that's exactly what we get. Is that second thing you're saying about? I want to know her more.
Yeah,
To be
yeah,
honest, I want her to be motivated by something. I want. We know more about Mourning than we do Janie in this book. Like
yeah.
just like her in terms of what she wants done and her drive, right?
And
Um,
it's crazy how the book changes too by the time we reach the seventh and eighth issue. Like the way that they do paneling and start playing with negative
yeah.
spaces and the
What,
repetition of paneling.
what do you think of that?
You can't do that all the time, but it works in this final issue.
But they
I
do
want
it,
them to take more chances with the art because I actually appreciate the stylized
but they
version
do it.
of this.
They do that in so many issues, like the back
Yeah,
half of the issues. They keep doing it over and over again. I was like, no,
they
this
over
works for
they
the,
overplay their hand. Yeah,
yeah, this works for the guy in the car, and it works for other things. But you can't do it every issue. And what we're talking about is like there's one image and a black, like a black page,
yeah,
and then the next frame is the same image, but then a second one too. So now you have two frames, and then the next part is three frames, and it's all together, and it's like the
right.
same ones that were earlier. They're just filling in the blank space. It's really cool for a feeling of like you're saying repetition or something that's like mundane or like
Hmm.
something that's kind of slowly revealing. But
Right.
when you do it so much, it's kind of just gets annoying. To be
Fair,
fair,
but I also think we're looking into like the creators, like they're working something out. Like this is their drafts essentially. Like
mm-hmm.
they're just like, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. They haven't found what exactly this is yet. So
Yep.
that's really the draw. That's why I keep going back to this. You're like, why do we keep going back to this? I'm like, I think there's something there. I don't know if they're ever going to hit that because, spoiler alert, I've read a couple of the specials, and
Okay.
it changes and evolves. So I like the fact that anytime we can grab something ground floor before it kind of blows up and turns into what it like. Imagine reading the first X-Men comic and being like, wow, it's not where it is today by today's standards, where everything we've seen with Krakoa and
Yeah.
Akko and stuff. But there had to been something there for them, for people to believe, for production, for Marvel to be like, no, no, like I like these guys. Keep going with it, right? Like to see Beast in a full bodysuit with like no hair and like a mask on and stuff. It's not the same way that we look at Beast now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I'm putting high hopes on Zombie Tramp, but there's something here. We keep having conversation about it, so I keep thinking that the author and Jar, uh,
Dan Mendoza, he is doing this all himself too. Like this is completely like it started as a web comic, and he's just doing everything himself. And I get it.
so I think eventually he gets help, and that's when you start to see the change in the book.
Correct. Yeah. I think
Um,
I have peeked at the third volume and I've seen the art drastically change.
yes,
It's like, oh, this is way different. So hopefully the character development does as well, and we get a more interesting Janie
yeah, but
because we're
I was
oh,
gonna say
go ahead.
it's not even a good slasher. Like even
No.
a good slasher, and I'm thinking in terms of movies. You know who the antagonist is. You may not know their backstory, but you know that they're coming, right? So that's
Mhm.
essentially Janie, but they're trying to play in this comic Janie as the protagonist. Like she's driving the narrative. And that's harder to do if she's your killer. So that's why the characters all around her are not really redeeming. Like no,
Yeah.
the only person we like is Zula, and Zula isn't like
Barely in it.
he's like a Rufus.
Yep.
Any Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures or Bogus Adventures or Last Adventure fans out there, it's basically like the heavenly figure to drop down and explain the rules of the environment that you're in, right? And
Mhm.
Zula doesn't really do that. She just kind of takes a shining to Janie, and I don't even know if Janie knows what's going on. So it's such a head scratcher, but I don't know if I'm setting up my I probably am setting myself up for this great fall where it doesn't ever turn out better than what we're getting.
Yeah, because you really wanted to do this second volume. I was like, all right, let's give it a try. And now we're here. So now it's like, okay, now we have to get a taste of the third volume too, right? Like,
We're hoping it pays off.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. The third volume is significantly longer though, is it not?
Well, there's story, so
That's so fun.
this is really just like I like drawing Janie. I like
Yeah, it
drawing
goes to
Janie
80.
with
It goes
clothes.
80, 84 issues, dude. So
So somebody was buying this, right?
yeah,
And I hope it's
not
not just like dudes in the basement as we both look at each other in our basements.
Because that seems that's so funny. But that's who it seems is like kind of aimed at.
Yeah,
Is dudes who just want to see hot chicks with
tits out.
tits out and their faces half falling. I don't know.
But like for me, there's this. It's not the skeleton structure. The body's there, right? It just needs the skeleton structure and organs, and like you have something. So like I'd love us to like Coke and Dank pitch a zombie Tramp.
Oh
Because you know how much fun we'd have with this?
yeah, yeah.
Like just using our high school experiences and like that one girl that one mean girl who was like a bitch. Like something happens to her and then she shows up and then like she's kind of nice, but like then other kids start disappearing. Like what's going on? Like what's happening here? Right? Like you could do a whole like Jennifer's Body sort of thing
Yeah.
with Janie's body, right?
Yeah, Janie's body. Yeah,
To have like a Zula come through or like Idle Hands, which is like an underrated
Seth Green, right?
90 movie. Yeah, Jessica Alba and then a whole bunch of people in that one. Vivica A. Fox, that's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Smoking hot. But like to have like a Zula walk into a high school, like a woman who's confident, sexy, and like sinister, but like
But
so charming that you just get swept up. There's so much you can do with that.
what was cool about her, the Zula arc, the one part that's like Death was following her, and they
Yeah.
actually show Death, and he's just kind of like,
Waiting
you
for
have one more jump left.
Yeah.
So she had to like pick the body right, and so she's stuck in that body now, unless the rules change,
Rules
which they
change.
could easily do, right?
That's
So
one of
that's
the problems
interesting.
with the book. But one of the problems with the book, they haven't established rules and they
No.
keep changing them. So for someone that's, it's one thing to pick it up and then throw it away. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
But if you're following along, you're like, wait a minute, is this gonna pay off later? And it probably won't. But
I don't know. Yeah, but it's. I mean, we're in it now. You read some specials, right? Which specials did you read?
I read both Halloween specials and the Easter special.
How did you like them compared to this?
I like the Halloween specials. They understand what they're doing.
Ah, okay. You know what year they were written?
I can pull it up
Around the same. This was 2012, and then they picked it up in 2014. So it's probably around the time, right?
Easter specials 2017 and Halloween specials are 15 and 16.
So they're after this. So yeah, he's getting some reps under him, right?
Yeah.
Needless to say.
Which is it's nice to see kind of an artist and a writer work it out. Because normally we wouldn't get all this stuff. You'd have an editor, and none of this would have made it to print. They'd be like, "What's the story here?" Like, well,
Yeah.
I don't like Janie. Like, change a lot of this stuff. It's a guy that's like, "No, man, it's on me." Like, it's going straight to the web, so you get to see it win, lose, or draw.
Mhm.
We've seen a lot more draws and loses, so I'm banking on a win. I could be wrong, could blow up in my face, but again, I don't know what it is. I stylistically, I like the look of the characters in the Zombie Tramp universe. Like, the only respect I'm giving it, I'm calling it Zombie Tramp universe.
Universe, yeah, you
Cinematic universe.
yeah,
I don't know.
You're championing this a lot, which is
I have a like I cheer for the underdog, especially when
Yep.
it comes to comic books, right? Because it's not easy to get in, and it's not easy to make a good one. So
no.
we're hoping this book eventually does.
That's
Because honestly, number 2 is not a good one. It's
no.
we were looking for reasons to like it.
I think it was actually worse than the first one. The first one was a bit more fun. This one wasn't really fun. It was just kind of
And
like,
you got an
what
origin
are we
story in the
doing?
first one. Yeah. This is a middling train.
I thought the first one was a little more clever too, like how the guy was feeding his son. Remember?
Yeah.
That was a little more
All the
clever
stuff that
than-
didn't pay off, right? There's strings that if he spent more time writing out. And I think he just got tired. Like if you had to write, draw, create all this stuff, at a certain point, like,
of course. Yeah.
killing this guy, I'm killing this guy, I'm killing this guy. I'm killing this guy.
Man, I
So
wish
the
I
second
could-
one, like, I'm just gonna kill all these. You can. It's not well.
Yeah.
Hey man, there's a whole cartoon called Sticking Around, and they were just stick
That's-
figures. And we love that show. So
Yep. That's true.
don't knock it till you try it. But
Anyways,
we rate these.
I was just gonna say that we rate these on a good or bad basis. Waiting for you to finish. Good or bad basis. Good for boom, bah for bad, and whoosh for what I just read. I guess a bah.
I'm cheating because I want to keep reading, and I've already kept reading. This is definitely reading. This is a whoosh for me because there's stuff in here that I like. Okay, here's the question for you: is this better or worse than Ninjets?
Oh, better.
So
Ninjas felt so. This Ninjas felt like a complete waste, and it was like insulting to me. This one, Like I was like, I can't believe I'm reading this because it's a spin off and everything. This one's actually like somebody trying to do something.
That's true.
It's not. I didn't like either one of them, but
It's ambitious.
I didn't like either one of them. But this one has more of an identity.
Sure.
So
That you bought.
but I bought it still because I didn't like it. I'll be honest with you. I was like, especially when the first one. I think I boomed or I bought the. Oh my God, I whooshed the first one because I was waiting for more and didn't really deliver what I wanted. So
does that mean are we gonna finish off the trifecta? Or are we going for the third?
We'll check out 3. I don't know if we're gonna check out all 82 issues or whatever, but first arc, yeah, have to now.
I think so. Pod committed.